Ji-hoon? Where is Farmwatch? Alright, he's not talking. Guards, get him. Have you ever been in a Canto and said after the Canto, huh, I wonder if this ID's in the game? You go to the extraction stuff, you go to the dispenser, and wallahi, they're not there. This has been the case for me, and the fact that we're missing so many of them, it just goes to show that they want to add these characters to the game, they just haven't quite yet. And in this video, I am going to be discussing every single character that is notable that isn't in the game that I probably know of. And before we go to that video, almost all of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you just take some time and press that red button, I'd gladly appreciate it. We're almost at 2.5k and it would be just wonderful if you could do that. Anyway, back to the video. Project Moon's capstone system is pretty interesting in the sense where, although it is notable that every single sinner gets a capstone ID, it is almost apparent that almost every single antagonist doesn't get an ID, with the sole exception of Rien from Canto IX. I would like to say that this trend somewhat starts at Canto I because we don't have a playable golden apple ID, but we do have an ego, so I wouldn't really count that. Or for Canto II, we have the rhyme shank ego, so I wouldn't really count that either. But now where it's really apparent is Canto IV. Oh hey, Dante, my best friend. I heard they're adding a new ID to the game. Yeah, they're just adding the new characters. You know, the nurse fathers like Brienne and Valentina, you know. Dante, is that your dog? They put a nameless character in the game, but not me. I mean, look at him. He doesn't have rupture count without an ego. I have rupture count, put me in the game. Yeah, but everyone loves Dimension Shredder. There's a ton of egos and a ton of IDs. Yeah, but everyone wants me in the game too. Wait, who the hell is that? You don't want to know who that is. Yeah, I do. It's Escort Ponglu. Escort Ponglu! Wait, what am I doing? With the absence of Farmwatch, everybody knows who this character is, everybody wants Farmwatch, so why isn't he already in the game? Project Moon has made it abundantly clear that they can give personal egos to sinners, like Dongbak's ego to Yisang. So why hasn't they done Farmwatch? They could do a Canto IV Bokak at the end of the Purgatorio storyline, however, there is a huge problem. Farmwatch isn't that strong. Giving him a modern kit would make no sense because of how weak he is compared to everything else the sinners have fought recently. Project Moon has stated that they can give Mirror World a slight little juice with the existence of Dawn Office, but are they willing to give Farmwatch a Canto 12 level kit? I don't think so. Moving on to Canto V, I think this one is also obvious. We are missing Ahab with the Gash Harpoon ego. Need I say anything? Unlike Canto IV's difference, Ahab is still alive and kicking, so there's the smallest chance that she can get a modern kit once we see her again in the storyline. So I take it's Project Moon where it's they are setting her up to be a little bit stronger. So it is reasonable that she will get an ID later, but compared to Farmwatch, she already has been mirrored by Pequeat Captain Ishmael, so there's also that. She's already been mirrored, but she doesn't have the ego. Before going to Canto VI, let's kick away some intervallo related stuff. We currently don't have a Time Ripper ID, and because Time Killing Time has already had a Bokak, we probably won't get an ID for him, so it's rest in peace for that guy, if anybody wanted an ID for him. Anyway, moving on to Canto VI, we have covered majority of the characters that appeared in Canto VI. The only major antagonist that hasn't appeared as a playable character in Canto VI is every Catherine, but we're never going to get a Kathy ID, probably because she is just gone from existence in every single Mirror World, and the fact that in order to release a Kathy ID, they're going to have to pair Heathcliff with someone, and they haven't done sinner pairings as of lately. They probably would in the future, but I think that's enough for Canto VI. Alright, moving on to Canto VII. This is a very huge one. We are missing a Sancho ID. Now, I know what you're going to say. We have Manager Dawn. That Sancho is totally different because in that version, she didn't listen to Bari's tales and rebelled against Don Quixote. And she has an entirely different moveset to the one boss fight version that we see in Canto VII and the LCE Intervallo. Manager Dawn's consist of her slashing and piercing with her sword. However, Sancho in the story is shown using her fist and creating different weapons like bows and shooting beams of blood that Manager Dawn just doesn't do. And more or less they are the same character. It's kind of weird how we haven't seen an ID of her. Because we have a Sancho ID already, this is not the biggest deal in the world. However, there are some other characters that we're missing from Canto VII, like Bari. Even though Bari's an interesting case because she is not seen as an assist unit or a boss, so it is impossible to say whether or not we will get an ID for her. I mean, she will definitely show up in the future, but as of now, there is no way we're going to get an ID of her in Purgatorio or a Canto VII Bokak if there ever is one. But we are missing a Don Quixote ID, as in Papa Don, the one that was strapped to the Ferris wheel as the boss fight. He has an entirely unique moveset, so it is impossible that we won't see him as a playable character soon. So if we ever were to get a Canto VII Bokak, it would probably be Don Quixote, as in the Papa Don. For Canto VIII, we're missing quite a bit of characters as well. We are missing Joe Pan, we are missing the Night Drifter, and most importantly, we are missing Jiamu. Now, I would say no one is really wanting a Jiamu ID. However, she is the final boss of Canto VIII, so if there were ever to be a Canto VIII Bokak, I would be pretty sure that she would be the one to be released during that time. I have no idea what center it could possibly be affiliated with, but I am certain she will be here someday. Although she's not as significant as like the other boss fights as in like people want, she's still a final boss of Canto VIII, so it has some merit to getting an ID if Canto VIII were ever to get a Canto Bokak. But as of now, I can't be too sure, but if there were, yeah, it would be Jiamu. We're not going to cover Canto IX for this video. However, there are some honorable mentions from Canto IX, like the entire Distortion Detective, but I don't really think they're going to be dropped during a Canto IX Bokak, so there's that. And that should wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe and hit that bell and join the Discord server if you want to, just talk around, hang out, and I'll see you in the next one.